Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to sit here, sell some options, sitting by the fire here in the tiny house. Now this is a subscriber requested video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell my options, okay? And then I'm going to come back and let you guys know how much I made. And then I'm going to come back again in this video at the end and completely run through how all the trades turned out. So you will be able to see if I got assigned anything. You will be able to see if I bought anything back during the week and then sold out again, or if I added any other options that I sold during the week. You basically get to see this happen from beginning to end, 100%. So make sure you stay to the end of the video, because you never know what's going to happen. Once the market changes, I usually will adapt to that. Sometimes I do nothing. Everything expires and it's boring. Sometimes a lot of crazy things happen. So make sure you stay to the end on this one. But as we wait for the market to go ahead and open at 9:30, I'm going to sit here and sip on some awesome coffee, chill out by my nice warm fire. And as you can see, I just pulled on a shirt because I just climbed out of bed. So I am being super lazy. I don't care. We are going to sell some options and make some money. Roll out of bed and make some money, boys. It ain't that easy. So we'll be back once the market opens. All right, guys. So we're going to start selling options this morning. For those of you who are new here, my wife Melissa and I hold a dividend portfolio, and then we use margin to sell against it to create a second income with selling options. So let's get started here. All right, so I think the first one we're going to do is probably one of my favorites, which is TQQQ, leveraged against the Qs, basically an index that's leveraged. Let it load here. It is having a slow morning. So we're going to go trade options. And then we're going to go November 7th. At the top, we're going to make sure we're set for sell a put. All right, and now we're going to go down too close to the 10 delta probably. So here we're at the 0.08 delta. That's too low. Let's go here. We're about the 11 delta. We're going to go ahead and sell at this. Now, I will get $51 is what it's saying, but I'm going to change that and try and get 52, and we're going to do 2 contracts. So we're selling 2 puts. So if this fills, I'll get $103, $104. And it filled. And I got $109, almost $110 on that. Now, if we go back, I started with $104,000 worth of buying power, and you can see now it says I have 61. That's because TQQQ has a higher margin maintenance ratio, so they take more money. So I'll be selling this number down to about 39,000 probably today. But next we're going to do TNA, and that is leveraged on the small caps or the Russell. So once again, we're working with a leveraged index. It just keeps you a little safer. So we hit trade options, November 7th. So we're going 1 week out. Top, we make sure it says sell a put. And we're going to go on down. And now you can see these percentages or chance of profit. I usually start about the 90 and work my way back and try and stay around the 10 delta. That one is 13. Now here you'll see down here at the bottom of the Greek, see it says 0.08. That's too low, so we need to go 1 up from that, which would be the 40.5 here. And I should get 12. So we're going to go ahead and sell, and see how it says 12 to 64. That's a wide spread. So what I'm going to try and get is 20, which is half the share price. Okay? So we'll set it and go for 1 contract, see if it fills. Boom, it filled. So just like that, by putting in an extra number, I made an extra like $6 or $7. So make sure you're checking your spreads. Next one we're going to do is Rocket. RKT. All right, so we got Rocket here, and we're at 1647 today. So we're going to trade options, go out to November 7th. Once again, we're going for a week. We're going to put a sell a put, and we're going to go down. And right here, you'll see the 88. I already have a put sold on that in my Roth. But let's click into it and look at the delta. Okay, it's 0.11. That's pretty close to 0.10. So that's about where we want to be. Now, it says 8, so we're probably not going to be able to manually put anything in. So we're going to go ahead and sell one of those. All right, and that one filled. Now we're going to go back and we're going to put in SoFi. Now we hit trade options, November 7th. Make sure at the top it says sell put. We're going to go down to where it's right around 90. You've got an 89 here. Let's see what this says. Okay, that's 0.09. That's not terrible, but we want to be as close as possible. See, that's 0.12. That's too much. So we're going to go back to the 0.9. It's $11 for a $26 put. That's not bad. So we're going to go ahead and send that. And we filled. Now, the next one we're going to do, actually we're going to go back and see where our margin is. So back into it here. We're at 44,000, so we don't have a lot more room to sell. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do a bull next. So let's go ahead and go to bull. All right. And it is trending down. So this is a good time to be selling puts. The premium will be up. So at the top it says sell put. We went out till November 7th. And it looks like the 9.5. Yep, 9.5 is about where we want to be. Now that only has $1, it says. But look what happens when we go into it. The mark in the last trade. So we're going to do sell. And we're going to do, let's do $4. One contract, 4 cents, which on 100, which is a contract, is $4. So let's send it and see what happens. Okay, it's sitting there placed. We may have to alter that. So we'll kick back and see what it's showing on our margin. Okay, we went down to 43. So what we're going to do here, we're going to take this bull and we're going to cancel it. All right, and then we're going to go down here and we're going to go to Soxel. Okay, no, we're not. That is so overblown. I'm going to pass on that one. And I think we're going to put in NVDX and see what it says. Now, I was selling on Soxel earlier this year at $20 and it's over 40 something now. So yeah, I'm going to go do something else. So trade options, November 7th. Now we're going to go down and look, and the 89 is 0.9 and the 85 is 0.13. So I'm going to be slightly more aggressive here, and this is going to be my one aggressive trade for the week. And I'm going to put it in at 20. So 20 cents over 100 shares. Let's see what happens. I don't mind taking 15, but we'll try the 20 first. So usually I'll let it wait a while, but today I think we're going to be pretty much on it. So replace the order. We're going to go ahead and let it go at the 15. And boom, it filled. So we've got 40,000. I'm going to go ahead and stop there for the day. But let me add up all my premium for this short day. And as you can see, Robinhood's starting to boom here. The market's starting to boom. Let me add up my premium and I'll get back with you guys and let you know what I made. All right, guys, so I just went through and did all the numbers. $186 this morning. Not bad. I gotta say, Robinhood was being a little glitchy. Their new overlay where they show you on the main screen the Roth and the individual is messing up how things sell. I actually had a discrepancy because I was supposed to be selling a rocket in my Roth and instead it sold it in my individual. Not a big deal, but that's why the numbers are a little bit different. Now, with that said, I really think this is an easy way to make some pretty good cash in like 15 minutes at 9:30 on Monday morning. That's when you're going to get your best premium. But if you're a person that likes to be a little more hands off, you could always sell them out for 2 weeks at a time, 3 weeks at a time, a month at a time, 6 months at a time, and just make one bank and pull the money. Now, I do want to say this is a big part of our retirement, and this is a big part of our retirement accounts growing, because while you see us and we share all our numbers of our regular accounts, this is all going on in the background in our retirement accounts as well, like our traditional IRA, our HSA, the Roth IRAs that are going on in the background that are still growing outside of the portfolio we share with you guys. So remember that. But if you want a simple way to double your income in your portfolio, go ahead and start selling options against your portfolio, because I can tell you it is an extremely powerful tool when you don't get greedy. You saw me staying out there by that 0.10 delta, what's also shown as like almost 90% on the Robinhood screen. Chance you're going to win, but make sure you sell options, because buying options, your odds are the other side. You will be getting the 10% or 20% odds. Now, you guys definitely want to stay, because literally in seconds, I'm going to be back to show you how all these trades turned out. Maybe I'll get assigned, maybe I won't, but you'll have to stay tuned to see. All right, guys, it's Saturday morning. Now I'm going to get to how all my trades turned out, but we had a crazy week. Of course, when I go to make the video to show you guys how boring and basic and how we pretty much don't get assigned, when I go to film that, the market has 3 massive drops in 1 week. So we did some things in our portfolio I got to cover with you guys before we get into how all the options turned out. So the first thing I did was I had 2 what I call losing positions. We've made a bunch of money off these positions. I was going to sell out cash, but the market was recovering Monday morning. So the call premium went through the sky on these. So I had 3 contracts of MSTX I put out at a strike price of $13.50. And off those 3 contracts, I made $225. Now, I had 15 contracts of MSTU, all right? And I put those out at a $3 call, and I made $180 off that. Now, come Wednesday, I think it was, I sold a TQQQ put at 102.50 after the market had dropped. The point was I was just going to let it recover, and I figured that it would just recover and, expire worthless, and I'd make $60, which is what I got for the contract. So when you add up what I made on Monday that I told you guys about, I think it was 186, and then you've got the 225, the 180, and the 60. My week premium went up to $651 for the week, just from my portfolio. My wife was selling on hers too. But we need to look at what we got assigned, because the premium's great. I already got that money. The moment I sold all these options, be it calls or puts, I got paid. So that money came into the account. But we have to look at how it turned out. So let me put my eyeballs on here, and we need to look at the history. So the first one we need to look at is the MSTU $3 call expired worthless. So I still have the shares. I get to keep the premium they gave me. It's done. I can do it again this week, or I can sell the shares. My choice. The NVDX $20.5 put I got assigned on. So, which means that they took $2,050 out of my account to pay for those shares. I now own those shares. And stay with me here, because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these shares on Monday and show you how much they're going to make me. Next is Rocket. So I had a $15 put, and that expired worthless, which means I got the premium when I sold it. Now it's expired worthless, which means nothing happened, nothing changed hands. I'm not on the hook for those shares anymore. TQQQ. Now, this is the 102 put. This is the third one I sold in the week, the one midweek, like Wednesday. That one expired worthless because the market recovered above it. There was a time I was sweating on that one on the second or third drop. Next was SoFi, $26.50 put. That one expired worthless. So I got my premium. Nothing happened. It just closed out the contract. TNA, I had a $40.5 put. That one expired worthless. Now, when you hear me say expired worthless, it means that nothing changed hands, nothing was assigned. I already got my premium earlier in the week, and the contract is closed. That's just how we say it when we're doing our books. Next is TQQQ. That's the two contracts. 109 was the strike price. It got assigned. Now, when it got assigned, it was actually, I believe 106 was what it was up to, but it was coming back fast. But for those two contracts, they pulled $21,800 out of my account to pay for those shares. I now own those shares. And like I said, give me a second here and I'll tell you what we're going to do next. And then the last one is the MSTX. That one expired worthless. So as I said, I got $225 for that. So now the shares are back to me. They're out of the contract. I can do it again or sell it. Now, let's talk about what goes next, because I still have my MSTX and MSTU, so I can sell calls on that, or I can just sell the shares. We'll see what the premium looks like on Monday. But the real thing you guys are probably wondering is, what are we going to do about the NVDX and the TQQQ two contracts? So if we go in and look at it, the NVDX, if I go sell it at the money that I paid for it, which is $20.50, which is what I pretty much always do, I can either check in the morning on Monday and at market open. If it is that price or above, I can just sell it out cash, sell the shares, and be done, be out. I'll have all my money back. No big deal. Or if I think that it's going to have a little more upward momentum, or if it's right there at like $20, I can sell a call. Now, if you go look at a call now, these numbers are going to change based upon how the market moves in after hours and what it opens up on Monday. But it gives us a good idea of what to look at. And currently the spread on it is looking like $20 to $30, okay? That's what I'm going to get for this contract. Now, in the spread, it can go either way, but I would say I can get, 1% out of it. So basically, I will get probably $20, $21 and make my 1%. Now, the TQQQ, that one is 109, but there's two contracts. Currently, the spread is showing $2.22 to $2.41, which just you convert it over because there's 100 shares. So there'd be $222 all the way to $241 is the spread per contract. Now, my goal with that is to sell one at $218. Now, what that does is it will give me $436 for the two contracts, that being 2% on the week. I would make off that, and more than likely the shares would get called away because I think the market's going to take off a little bit. But you really never know what's going to happen. But at the point there, if you're making 2% on your calls to get out of position, you're making excellent money. That is an excellent exit strategy because 2% is amazing. All right. So we are looking at probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $450 if I sell calls on just those two. And then if the MSTX and MSTU follow suit with what they did, I'll probably make another 300 or so off them. So, you're looking at like 750 just between those positions. And I've got all my margin back. It all got unlocked other than what was taken out to pay for the shares for the NVDX and the TQQQ. So I will have all that to sell options on too. So it's very possible I could be doing like $1,000 Monday in options, which would be amazing. I would be perfectly satisfied with an $8 to $1,000 day on Monday. So volatility is not always bad. Getting assigned is not always bad, but this shows you literally like what I see Saturday morning and how these all turn out. I know a lot of times in my videos, I just show you, you see us selling them, whether we're in the car going on vacation or whether we're sitting here by the fire or whether we're, sitting on a balcony on a cruise ship selling options. You see the premium come in, which is actually the important part. But now you get to see the other side of it where we're getting assigned or we're not getting assigned and how you move forward with the strategy. Now I'll be getting more into different strategies and how you can make money like this, because a lot of people say that us going out to 10 delta is being too conservative. But at times like this, when you get assigned and then it roars back, then you're getting maximum premium on your calls, which straightens out your year, but it also gets you back to cash as fast as possible. And make sure you're selling on good names, guys, because that's the difference between making money and having sinking funds. Like that MSTX and the MSTU, those are sinking ETFs. The value is just not there to be selling on them. We made a boatload of money earlier this year, but now they're going down the hill and we're selling calls to get as much money back on them. So pick those good names, pick those companies that have been around for a while. Go out and look for that quality premium. Don't get greedy, make that money. And if you haven't already, I don't know why you wouldn't have already. Come on, guys, go down, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, let us know what you think of this, if you want to see more videos like this, and I will see you in the next one.